Transition and Scale Through Disruption Executive Insight Series, Briefing Number 1. Why Every CEO Needs an Anti-Fragile Business. Stop looking out the window, the leak is in the basement. For years, business leaders have been encouraged to focus on what is happening outside their organizations, and recently they have plenty of reasons to. Artificial intelligence, geopolitical uncertainty, inflation, labor shortages, changing customer expectations, new regulations, supply chain disruption. These forces dominate headlines and boardroom conversations alike. Yet after working alongside founders and CEOs of ambitious 7- and 8-figure businesses, I have become convinced that these external forces are rarely the primary reason organizations struggle. They are simply the catalyst. The real determinant of success lies within the business itself. External disruption is the trigger. Internal capability determines the outcome. Every period of uncertainty acts as an organizational stress test. It exposes whether strategy is clear and adaptable, whether the leadership is aligned, whether the business is built to execute, adapt, and scale, whether teams take ownership and execute and adapt effectively. The companies that will outperform over the next decade will not necessarily be the largest, the smartest, or even the most innovative. They will be the organizations that continuously strengthen their ability to learn, adapt, and execute faster than the pace of change. That is what it means to build an anti-fragile business. Building an anti-fragile business doesn't begin with technology. It doesn't begin with AI. It doesn't begin with responding to the next crisis. It begins by strengthening 4 foundations: leadership, strategy, teams, business. In this executive briefing, we'll explore why resilience is no longer enough, why adaptation has become the defining competitive advantage, and why strengthening these 4 foundations is the most important strategic investment you can make. Executive observation. Every founder and CEO is navigating an increasingly volatile business environment. Markets are shifting faster. Customer expectations continue to evolve. Artificial intelligence is transforming industries, while economic uncertainty, geopolitical developments, and regulatory change demand constant attention. These external forces matter, but they rarely determine whether an organization succeeds or struggles. What ultimately separates high-performing companies is how effectively they respond. The future belongs to organizations that continuously strengthen their leadership, strategy, business, and teams faster than the world around them changes. Social listening. Across boardrooms, investor meetings, executive forums, and leadership conversations, the same themes keep emerging. Everything is changing faster than we can keep up. We have a strategy, but execution isn't moving fast enough. Our teams are busy, but progress feels slower. AI is changing our industry, but we're unsure where to start. We're growing, but complexity is beginning to slow us down. These aren't isolated challenges. They are signals that organizations must become more adaptive from the inside out. Strategic advisory perspective. After more than 25 years supporting investors, founders, CEOs, and executive teams through turnaround, transition, transformation, and scale, I've observed one consistent pattern. Organizations rarely struggle because disruption occurs. They struggle because their internal capabilities have not evolved at the same pace as their external environment. The strongest organizations don't eliminate uncertainty. They continuously strengthen their leadership, sharpen their strategy, evolve their business, and develop teams that can execute with confidence. That is the essence of an anti-fragile business. The organizational stress test. Every period of disruption reveals what was already present beneath the surface. Ask yourself, is our strategy still relevant for the market ahead? Is our leadership team fully aligned? Is our business model resilient, profitable, and scalable? Are our teams equipped to adapt and execute? Where is friction slowing us down? The answers to these questions often determine future performance far more than external market conditions. the 4 foundations of an anti-fragile business. Leadership. Strong leadership creates clarity, builds trust, makes better decisions, and inspires confidence during uncertainty. Strategy. A winning strategy provides direction, focus, and the ability to adapt as markets, technologies, and customer expectations evolve. Business. A resilient business combines financial discipline, scalable processes, innovation, execution excellence, and a focus on profitable operations to create sustainable enterprise value. Teams. High-performing teams take ownership, collaborate effectively, embrace change, and turn strategy and adaptation into measurable results. Together, these 4 foundations strengthen an organization's ability to learn faster, adapt quicker, execute consistently, and create long-term enterprise value. Boardroom questions. As you reflect on today's briefing, consider: which of our 4 foundations is currently our strongest? Which foundation represents our greatest risk? Where is complexity slowing us down? How quickly can we adapt when the market changes? What would become possible if we significantly increased our organizational adaptation speed? In conclusion, external disruption exposes weak internal capability. Adaptability is becoming the defining competitive advantage. Leadership, strategy, business, and teams determine long-term success. Anti-fragile organizations continuously strengthen these 4 foundations. Sustainable growth starts from the inside out. Your invitation. If today's executive briefing resonated with you, I'd like to personally invite you to join us to learn more. Each month, I host the Transition and Scale Through Disruption Executive VIP Masterclass, an exclusive online session for ambitious 7- and 8-figure founders and CEOs who want to build anti-fragile organizations, adapt faster, and maximize growth and enterprise value. Participation is complimentary, but places are limited to ensure an interactive executive discussion. To book your place, visit Eventbrite and search for Transition and Scale Through Disruption. We host a new Executive VIP Masterclass each month, usually towards the end of the month. I look forward to welcoming you personally. What's next? Briefing number 2 in the series, named The Executive Growth Complexity Spiral. In our next executive briefing, we'll explore why growth itself often becomes the hidden source of organizational fragility, how complexity silently erodes profitability and enterprise value, and what leaders can do to stay ahead of it before it becomes a barrier to scaling. Until then, remember, the market will continue to move fast. The organizations that thrive will be those that adapt even faster. I look forward to welcoming you to Executive Briefing number 2. With my highest regards, Madiha Mouchtak, MBA, founder, CEO, and operator mentor at Answer Inside, Transition and Scale Institute, www.answerinside.eu.